overdoses in Maine is rising, and 2022 is on track to be the state's deadliest year yet. Through July, Maine reported 399 fatal overdoses. That is already ahead of last year's pace, which was a record high. And the synthetic opioid fentanyl is involved in the vast majority of those deaths. Last year, 77% of all fatal overdoses involved fentanyl or some copycat version. And this year it's even higher at 79%. And this week, people in Maine marked International Overdose Awareness Day. And while that day has passed, the opioid crisis certainly has not.
It has not. Maine's first responders are on the front lines every day. Sometimes it's too late to save someone, but in other cases, quick thinking can keep someone alive. News Center Maine's Sam Rogers spoke with a Portland officer who handled one of those life or death calls.
There's that cliche answer of like, I wanted to help people, which is true.
Garrick Rogers first put on the badge for the Portland Police Department 3 years ago.
Because you never know what's going to happen and who you're going to be able to help.
Patrolling the Bayside neighborhood, like the area near Cedar Street.
We deal with a lot of the people experiencing homelessness and suffering from addiction and mental health issues.
Rogers and his fellow officers deal with these types of calls a lot. According to the department, there have been 337 overdoses this year in Portland. 37 were fatal. Both are city records. And this week, another person almost lost their life to an overdose.
This time, there was no breathing, no pulse, and the victim had already been given 3 doses of Narcan, and she wasn't responding to it.
Officers Rogers and Jordin Jackson responded to the call on Tuesday. After a few minutes of CPR, the woman was awake and responding. It's a reminder that while we report statistics, we're talking about our fellow Mainers.
It really goes to show that they're not lost souls, they're not lost hope, and that there is help out there, and they needed the help. It's just a matter of finding it.
There's not one silver bullet that any state or the federal government has found that's going to fix this.
But Maine is making progress. Gordon Smith is the state's director of opioid response. Just this week, Governor Mills announced $1.9 million to expand treatment services in rural Maine, a continued effort to increase staffing and upgrade facilities, especially housing options.
You can't expect people to focus on their own recovery if they don't know where they're sleeping tonight.
And in Maine, if you see someone overdose, you can call it in to 911 with no legal risk.
We're not looking to jam someone up and put them in jail after a drug overdose. That's just something that we don't do here in Portland or the state of Maine based on the Good Samaritan law.
A law in place and officers on standby to combat the ongoing opioid crisis. In Portland, Sam Rogers, News Center, Maine.